Hey, welcome back to the Convo Couch, ladies and gentlemen. I am Pasta Jardula.
And I'm Fiorella.
And we have a great show for you today.
We do. We have an update.
Yes, we do. Because in the middle of the Tulsi event last night, fam was like, Pasta, waving me over. And guess what happened, fam? Break it down for them.
So we were at an event for Tulsi last night in Santa Monica where she was talking to people from the Malibu Democratic Party. She also had one on Sunday, the previous day. And while we were there, we got word that the embassy, the Venezuelan embassy in D.C. was being invaded by U.S. police and the Secret Service that was there illegally violating the Vienna Convention, specifically the code, which says that they cannot do that because it's part of the Venezuelan property of Maduro. It's an extension of them, and so they were breaking the law, and they were there was kind of this standoffish thing going on because there was the anti-war, anti-imperialism protesters and the Guaido supporters cheering and very happy that these people were invading. And for a minute, it looked really tense and it looked really bad for the people at the embassy. However, we'll go through everything that happened and kind of give you a little breakdown as to what was the outcome, which was actually a positive outcome for now.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the people that have been reporting on this have been Alex Rubenstein, the Code Pink, Answer Coalition, Miss Parampel. And so we have a tweet here that kind of that's the one I got in the beginning. It said, breaking, U.S. Marshals were about to illegally seize the embassy of Venezuela and hand over the U.S.-backed ambassadors of Guaido in violation of international law, which is the Vienna Convention. And so this is in the Embassy Protection Collective, which is the ones that are protecting the embassy. Yeah. And some of these people were arrested. And then the updated version that came after was that there was a few people that remained inside, I believe 4. Mm-hmm. 3 left. And they stated that the U.S. Secret Service explicitly and repeatedly will not leave if it means that U.S. violates the Vienna Convention by making an illegal eviction and unlawful arrest. So the Secret Service was trying to continuously do this. They've been there kind of just... They showed up there. They didn't do anything. And then yesterday, they broke the locks, went in. Yeah. And
it was like one of those situations, stand your ground kind of when they went in there. I mean, the good stand your ground where Zeus and a couple other people said, no, we're not leaving. Yep. I guess they didn't have an arrest warrant, so they couldn't take them. They knew what they were doing. There's been examples of this before. This is the Elliot Abrams playbook, Pompeo Bolton playbook, is to get the embassy changed over to the opposition to solidify and verify the opposition government that they're trying to put in place. So this is a big stance. This was a standing rock moment. Yeah. A lot of people got a little bit late on the train for this and stuff. People started showing up. More people started showing up. And if this continued to go on, this would be like one of those situations. I mean, even Johnny Tsunami over there, or Johnny Pesto, he said, why are we in Venezuela? Lawrence Steiner, why are we in Venezuela? Everybody's like, let's get to Venezuela. So this was a big thing. And I'm glad these occupiers, these positive occupiers for the Venezuelan people, the actual majority of the people who want Maduro to stay in power, held it down. And it's something that's great, fam. This is awesome. Big ups to those people. Thank you. We love you.
Well, yeah.
Great work.
I mean, a lot of people are just kind of trying to ignore this, and you can't ignore this. This isn't going to go away. This is going to go back, and we're going to look at what politicians were actually talking about this, what politicians actually said. It's going to be another DAPL. And we have one last tweet here on this that says a VH at the front door, law enforcement had shaved off the locks, sawed off the locks, opened the doors, and the peace activists were voiced determination to uphold the convention, and they told them not to violate the mission and international law, so they pulled back. So we have the pictures here of what they said. They wrote like a little note right there, because a lot of these people are like stormtroopers. Again, I always use that because they're just following orders. They're just following orders. They don't even know why they're doing what they're doing. And then these are the people there on the next picture. They are inside, and this is the police trying to get in, and you can see how they were holding the signs there bravely. I mean, you have to think about this psychologically. You're in there, you're like kind of like in this situation that's very military-like. You're holding down the fort, and these people are coming in with weapons that you don't have.
Yeah.
You don't even have electricity. You don't have power. You probably barely
No
have any water.
They cut the water.
They cut the water off, and I'm assuming they're surviving by drinking whatever little water they have.
Yeah.
And they don't have very little food because, people get bashed in the head for trying to bring in a cucumber. And they're over there, and they're still standing firm on telling them no, because this represents a little coup in our own country against Venezuela from the Guaido people trying to overtake the Maduro regime. Basically, the Maduro is the democratically elected leader.
Yes, he is.
And so by the Guaido people trying to get in, they're trying to cement that no, Guaido is the leader, etc. Yeah. While simultaneously this coup is actually failing miserably in Venezuela.
Yes. I think they had like 4 attempts on this coup. Excuse me for a second while I try to fix my mic. I think they've had 4 attempts on this coup. And the military, big ups to the military in the Venezuela, has been holding strong and say they will not go fight brother against brother, Venezuelan against Venezuelan, and in coalition, in lockstep, what's going on over here in the Washington embassy, the Venezuelan embassy. And I was watching Max Blumenthal yesterday, and he said there's some type of deal that's going to be cut between another friendly government to bring them into the situation, which is going to pretty much put the United States efforts and the Secret Service's efforts, the extension of Donald Trump and Pompeo and John Bolton, at bay, and it's going to stop. This is almost close, hopefully, from being over. And the fear is that the attention will be shifted to Iran, but more and more things are happening to say that it looks like we might dodge a coup. Actually, for now, and it's got everything to do with all these people that have been talking about this stuff. Yeah. Fam, I'm going to pat us on the back. We've been talking about the regime change plan book. We've been talking about this for over a year and a half. We've been eyeballing Venezuela. We've been talking about Nicaragua. This is big. And if we can stop this over here, it's going to be huge, okay? Yeah. So there's still more work to be done. Mm-hmm. There's still more voices to be regurgitated. Keep telling people about this. Keep whistling out there. Johnny, did you have something to say? I'm so sorry. Okay, you just look like he did, but
so
it's big.
We have the video just exactly when the Secret Service and the law enforcement started leaving. It's at 1 hour and 37 minutes in this video segment. And you can see like the excitement of the Hands Off Venezuela protesters.
Protection Collective. That's right. So we'll get an update from her as soon as we can.
There they are.
Yeah, that's Kevin Z's up there by the window. Good job, Kevin, to say the least.
If you'd like to see more about Kevin Z's, go to the Convo Couch YouTube and click on in and see the interview with Fiorella Isabel and Kevin Z's.
What was that, fam? You did have a whole interview.
That was awesome, though. Yeah, we if you guys want to check out the interview with Kevin Z's, he did talk about everything before this happened, so we would like to get him back on to talk about the aftermath. But this is amazing. This is exactly what we need to do, and I wish we could just go to DC and hang out. And
I wonder what food and water they had in their family. I mean, you guys were talking about the situation and stuff like that, but then when they cut the water, I was like, man, how much water did they have in there? How much food are they rationing out? Like, you get 1 granola bar a day, you get 3 cups of water, that's it. Let's make sure we got this, because like you said, you don't know what they're doing. They're coming in there. This is like Fort Knox. I always talk about it. It's lockdown time, baby. And here they're coming in, stormtroopers with guns, limited supply of food. Wow, this is big, fam. I'm sorry for this is I got a little happy about this, because really holding this off, because this is huge. But
it is huge. It's bigger than what people expect.
Wow.
And
people don't realize how big this is.
No, they don't. And so the Embassy Protection Collective wrote a little memo on basically to urge the State Department that, hey, we've been here for 34 days living in the Venezuelan embassy in D.C. We're prepared to stay as long as it needs in order to make sure that this is resolved in a peaceful way, and that's consistent with international law. They constantly keep talking about the international law, because that is what the United States and the Guaido supporters are intent on violating. So they just talk about the ways we can resolve it. And they're willing to stay as long as is necessary. And they have they want to protect the power agreement that they have. And they also want to not violate the Vienna Convention, which is the whole other thing that they are emphasizing. So they just kind of wrote a little memo to talk about how they plan to do that and that they want to resolve this peacefully. So that was really nice.
Talk about the Vienna Conventions, though. That's like another set of laws. And to me, it's always like it's just another set of laws that the elites in America will dodge. They'll never see any time. They'll never be held accountable. But we do talk about these things about the Vienna Convention. I mean, what they did and what they were doing was against the law.
Right.
If we're still
international law, but America does what they want because they're above the law. Yeah. That's the thing. Like if America, if you break the law and you're poor or you have no clout, then you're going to be punished. But if you break the law and you're wealthy or you're a powerful person, and that extends to America. We're the bullies. If we break the law, we'll find a way to rationalize it. And so that's kind of what they were doing. They were completely ignoring the fact that we were breaking international law because all that matters is our national law. Yeah. Apparently. Yeah. Right. So we have a little summary here from Telesur. Telesur has done amazing coverage on this, by the way.
Telesur English.
And they don't get enough credit, and they get so much bias from our media. So we have this little video here.
If Telesur, you're looking for a morning show, hit us up over here. The Telesur LA, we got it. Morning show, Combo Couch. Roll it, baby.
So ridiculous.
Is it Twitter again?
Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, foreign government. Additionally, a portion of this property is utilized by the Venezuela Department of Missions Organization for Verification with international organizations. This property is used for official business and diplomatic purposes.
You violated international law today.
Yeah, congratulations, boys.
Wow. Savage music.
Yeah, I'll get that from you later.
Chile.
Bolivar is not a DJ.
Yes,
It's property of Leo Flores.
So it's funny. Anya Parampil took this picture of Simón Bolívar. Simón Bolívar was in South American history the one who freed these countries from Spanish rule, and they were like trying to be like, oh, she's still federal, blah blah blah. And she's like, it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the Venezuelan government.
Yeah.
So you know what? Like they said it was okay for me to take this, and she's savage. I love the reporting she's done. It's been really awesome. But that really summarized it.
Kevin Zeese yelling out the window in a megaphone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something. Now that I know, because I didn't see 34, 36 days, Kevin Zeese, when you're in town, I am treating you to a full pasta meal, as much as you want, your favorite pastas. I wonder how many pounds he lost inside there for 34 fucking days.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm like I said, man, that is just awesome. Great work. I am just Anya, Medea Benjamin, Kevin Zeese, fucking heroes. Love you.
Yeah.
Love you.
And like I don't think enough of the United States, as you were saying, grasp how big and huge this is. And every single day, it's a new day, it's a new fight. Because I have a feeling they're going to try again because the coup in Venezuela is failing. And this is what the actual lawyers said. So the lawyers that were there were actually not partisan to either side. But this is what the lawyer said regarding the situation.
On the Twitter, the lawyer says?
Do you have the video? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the people inside were very clear. They were asked if they were going to leave voluntarily. They said that they would, in fact, voluntarily leave under circumstances that upheld international and domestic law. They were very clear that they were very concerned about violations of international law, the cascade effects of the U.S. government seizing an embassy, what would happen if U.S. government officials and officers entered upon an embassy, and what that says in terms of the Vienna Convention. And they were resolute, they were completely nonviolent, they were peaceful, but they were saying repeatedly that they were standing for the law, that they were standing up for international law, that they were demanding that there be a peaceful resolution, that would involve a caretaker for the embassy, as is normal under the Vienna Convention, and they were rejecting any violations of the Vienna Convention, rejecting any violations of international law. They made it clear that they stand for peace, and they stand to stop a global cascade effect that could have huge repercussions for people.
Yep. So
wow.
Yeah, that's the lawyer pretty much saying what they're saying and agreeing, because that is the law, and she's a lawyer, and the law is on the side of these people, these activists right now. So it's kind of nice. And Alex Rubinstein, savagely, pretty much, he's been doing a lot of great reporting too. Follow him on Twitter. Police came and may have entered the building in violation of international law, but they left putting zip tie handcuffs over the main entrance. They left with their tails between their legs. The police raid has failed just as the coup did. Embassy protectors are still inside. So I think a lot of people expected them to just give in and leave and be scared. And when they said that they were going to stay as long as it was required, they meant it. Yep. And Kevin C said that on the show even before.
This is another big blow to John Bolton, Pompeo, and fucking Donald Trump, who were trying to support this coup.
And the Democratic establishment
who stood behind it. Yep.
The
Joe Bidens and whatnot.
Yep.
And we're going to get to a second part because there was another blow, fam. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't understand that China showed up delivering aid to Venezuela. And people are like, what does that mean?
Delivering actual aid.
Actual aid and stuff. But here's the thing, fam. There's been a war going on, and through the trade wars. And on this show, a couple times, we haven't praised Donald Trump, but we've said areas where he's possibly done some good. Mm-hmm. North Korea was one of them before he brought on Pompeo and Bolton. You know, they used to have Tillerson and Matthias and whatnot, and they were even a little bit against it, but he was able to get through them until Pompeo and Bolton just savaged and just destroyed the fucking North Korean deal, and now he's off talking to Russia because they just pretty much just ruined that. So now he doesn't have North Korea to stand on. Mm-hmm. One of the other things was the trade wars. Now, we didn't say we necessarily stood for the trade wars, but we understood that there was something that happened with NAFTA, and the trade system was all screwed up. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of acknowledge, let's say at least Donald Trump is doing something for that. Because Donald Trump has said before, well, China imports 4-to-1 ratio of their goods to our goods that we import there. So they need us more than we need them. But you know what China did? China buckled down and said, we're not going to fucking back down from this trade war. We're going to go find other customers. Mm-hmm. So they head out to Africa, and they've been finding new customers in the African nation to sell their goods to. They went to Bolivia. They made a deal with Bolivia now. Going to sell a lot of goods there. Donald Trump slapped more tariffs on this week to China, said, you want to do this? So China says, you know what? We're finding more customers. We're going to go to Venezuela, and we're going to bring them goods. And in return, they're going to give us oil, and we're going to help them refine it. So pretty much this is a huge blow to see China doing this. Not to mention the Bitcoin factor, fam, because this is what all this shit is about. It's about the U.S. dollar. Mm-hmm. Who's going to use the U.S. dollar? Who's going to use the Russia-China market now that they seem to be kind of merging in some sense and whatnot? And Venezuela was one of those areas. It was a proxy war. Mm-hmm. It was not only just a struggle for oil, but it was a proxy war to say, we're going to get Guaido in there and solidify the IMF, and they're going to use the U.S. dollars. Mm-hmm. With Maduro, the rightful elected leader, holding down and making sure the coup is not taking place, and the military standing behind him, that was a blow because they tried 4 times. The embassy, Kevin Zeese, all that shit going on, Medea Benjamin holding it down, that was a huge blow. And now here it comes in, ba-boom, China comes in and says, now we're going to aid them. So it looks like we're on the track for no coup. It's going to be a blow to the American dollar, but we have to reevaluate this whole situation altogether. I'm not rooting against our own interests when I say I don't want the American dollar. That's a conversation for another day. But the fact we can't go around and bullying and demanding that these countries use our dollar and we implant our government is no bueno. It causes too much chaos. It causes too much death. So this coming over here, China doing this right now, it's a huge blow, fam, to Pompeo, Bolton, and Trump and their plans.
It's also setting up a potential for allyship. We see the alliances forming. We see China standing with Russia, standing with Venezuela. And a lot of people are already vilifying that and saying, look, Venezuela is getting the Russians to help them. And they're going to, they're already making it up. They're trying to rationalize the idea that Russiagate is actually a legitimate theory.
Yeah.
And they're trying to legitimize it by saying, oh, see, look what's happening in Venezuela. See, Putin is trying to interfere in our interests, basically. They're so dumb that they don't even realize that they're making it very clear that the only reason Russia and China are even getting involved in Venezuela is because we're the bullies. And if I were Venezuela, I would seek to, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? Is that what? And it's just like, okay, well, look, we got to form these alliances because now if we don't, we're going to be left alone. And so they're smart. And I would do the same thing. And it's not about our interests as much as it is about the right thing. We need to be moral. We need to have integrity. We need to stop acting like the police of the world. And rightfully so, fam, this is actually failing in Venezuela. The coup that Guaido has been pushing for and the Guaido supporters and our capitalist oligarchs here have been pushing for is failing miserably. Juan Guaido is hitting hard times, and he's begging our military and the people in the United States, his people, his CIA friends, to actually go and push and help him out because he doesn't have the support of the people. He doesn't have the support of the Bolivarian army. He doesn't have any support. He has very little support, and what you see is pretty much manufactured, and so it's failing. And so that's why this was so important in D.C. because they are trying to paint the picture. The media is not talking about this because they want you to think that Guaido is winning. They want you to think that, oh, yeah, this is pretty much over. Guaido, blah, blah, blah. He's going to free Venezuela when that's not the case. No. So this is why we exist, because we need to be talking about these things. Yeah.
I mean, and like we said, man, this is just... This is huge, and we keep talking about this is huge, and the fear is now, and I don't want to get off track because we still have some other stuff too. We want to show the picture of these beautiful faces of these people inside that embassy, but the fear is now is that Bolton, Pompeo, and Trump are going to lose interest over here in Venezuela and understand it's not working. That if they try anything now, the international community is going to really blow up in their face. It could cost Trump the election altogether. That they're going to stop and shift their energy over to Iran, which is a discussion for another day.
Yeah, but Iran is also you can see the alliances forming with Iran, Russia, China, all of this. That's a potential. If we don't handle this properly, it's a potential for a World War III, which is something we do not want.
Yeah. And I think that America, and once again, I'm not talking against American interest altogether. I'm just saying we can't use the tactics of bullying and placing our own leaders for our own needs. No. We can't just plant a flag and say we're going to fucking do this and we're above international law. We're above any law. We have to come to the table and talk about these things and find a way to share our world power. And that's what it's all about. American fucking leadership, America deep state, whatever you want to fucking call it, does not want to share its global power with Russia and China. And that's going to be a huge problem no matter what. And hopefully, if we do get a Sanders, a Gabbard in there next, what Trump is creating, because he ripped up the playing board when it comes to trade. But you can't just solve it by fucking firing more missiles. You got to sit down and come to the table. Hopefully it sets up a scenario where a person like Sanders can then come to the table and work out a fair deal where it's not going to hurt American workers, where it's not going to just take advantage of Chinese workers as slaves, and we can come to something good because it's just an escalating thing, and we have to handle it in a proper way, and that's with diplomacy, fam, not intervention imperialism.
Exactly.
Did I go off too much?
No.
You can keep me in check. You can tell me, fam. Just you can calm me down. Damn.
We have this picture here of the wonderful people that were in the embassy. I just wanted to share, fam, so you can stop talking now.
You said fam more to me this show.
And yeah, they're there. They're looking
Look at
happy.
Kevin Zeese in the background. Hey, Kevin Zeese, carbonara, Alfredo, and I don't even like making Alfredo. Arrabbiata. You want zucchini, pasta, you want rigatoni, angel hair. I'll make it all for you. You come to LA, I'm going to feed you good. 36 flavors for the 36 days you stood strong. Because I know what it's like being a chubby guy with no food. I can't go without lunch. You went out with meals for 36 days, my man. I love you. Thank you. And everybody else there with you. I love you too.
Johnny, do you have any of the pictures from last night? Okay. So we have a couple
Tulsi
pictures
time?
and a couple videos, and also Tulsi's answer, which is really important, on what she would do in regards to Venezuela.
It's Tulsi time.
I got to ask her. So this is Tulsi entering the venue, which, by the way, was overflowing so much that she had to go talk to the line outside.
Yeah. She had about 60 people that couldn't get in. She went and said hi. Fox News was in the house to cover her.
Oh, of course, Fox News, but was CNN in the house? MSNBC?
No, not at all. No way. But once again, at least Fox is going out there. There's a lot of people interested in Tulsi that are on the right, a lot of libertarians, a lot of independents, and they're out there covering her because they're, what I'm saying?
And that's a good thing because we want those votes.
We need that to win.
Yeah.
We need it to win. Now, you're going to notice, too, as well, when Johnny goes to the next one. There she is. She sees me here. Watch. What are you doing? I'm here, Tulsi, hanging out with you. You're going to see that woman on the stage. She's a little bit noticeable fan. Her name is Jane Albright, I believe it is.
Yeah, she got a lot of criticism on Twitter. All my Twitter fan was like, isn't that the woman that tried to block that question on Sunday?
Yep.
That was her.
And we did an interview with her after.
Pasta did an interview because he's not he's nice. I'm the mean one.
Yeah,
believe it or not.
We did an interview. We're going to post that interview up, and we're going to share it. We piggybacked on what happened on
I can't deal with
Sunday.
Neoliberals, fam. I'm
She
sorry.
pretty much took the mic away from another member and obfuscated his question because the gentleman was asking if we played this the other day if Tulsi would stand up for the people if in fact there is cheating going on in this Democratic primary this year. And Tulsi pretty much responded eventually, well, I did it before, I'll do it again. But before that, this woman took the microphone out of her hand. She also snatched the microphone out of Lauren Steiner's hand, too, if you didn't see it on that question. Same room, same day. And she obfuscated the question. Instead of saying, will you stand up for us if there's cheating, she tried to change it to Tulsi. How are you going to bring unity so that Democrats can come together? So I asked her.
F your unity.
Right. I asked her, I said, how can we have unity if there's no accountability? And you want to play a little bit of it real quick or no? Just a little
sneak peek before we release
move it to like halfway through though. So
the moment she said Harley Rada, I had to walk away. So
we'll play a little clip for you here.
She was really nice about it, but
get kicked out at a certain point. I was closely involved in the campaign in 2016. I thought Bernie and Hillary were both good candidates with different strengths.
Anyways, we just listen. It was a very interesting interview. I kind of pressed her on stuff. She tried to go a little Russia on us, and I said, no. There's people in that room over there that don't think that.
The majority of those people in that room.
I should have said that, but I said there's people in that room right there that don't believe that Russia handed Donald Trump the election. They believe that the Democratic Party handed Donald Trump the election. And she was like, I don't know about that. I'm like, listen, lady, I know a lot of people in that room over there. I know what they think. They watch our show. We're all together here. They don't think that Russia had anything to do with that. Forget about it. I didn't say it like that. But we're going to post the interview up. It's a very interesting interview. And we opened up the door to maybe have another interview and talk some more about some stuff. Because unity, fam, they keep talking about this unity. But how could we have any unity if there's no accountability?
I'm going to storm the California Democratic Convention with some of our people, and we are not going to go with your unity pledge. I'll tell you that. Yeah. Unless there's accountability, unless there's a sort of push for the actual front runners and the actual people that are going to do things for the American people, we aren't going to have unity. We're just not. And Donald Trump will have another 4 years, and that's not going to be our fault. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about what Tulsi said, because this is really amazing,
fam. Because we talked about this, but remember before we were walking in, the lady says, what's this Tulsi person about? Then you told her some stuff, then I told her some stuff.
That was awesome.
And it's just so great because it leads up to, he said, if you're the anti-regime change type of person, this is your only candidate, unequivocally.
Yeah. Besides Mike Gravel, who's like
Gravel,
amazing.
Yeah.
But so I asked her about Venezuela and what was going on in the embassy, and I just basically asked her, you guys will see how she would handle that, and she gave a really good answer.
Yeah.
Yes, she said.
Oh. Hi, and thank you for being here again. As you may know, there are escalating tensions right now at the Venezuelan embassy in D.C. As we speak, U.S. armed forces were trying to get in and actually managed to get in and take some of the people out. Right now, we got word that there are some of the embassy protectors still there right now. What will you do as a president and a presidential candidate to help with our relationship against interventionism in Venezuela and kind of calm the tensions that are arising right now? Because the last thing we need is to get involved in another regime change war, as you constantly talk about.
I'm going to continue as a presidential candidate to speak out against the actions that leaders in our government are taking to drive the United States into this regime change effort, this regime change war, threatening the use of military force to topple the government in Venezuela. The United States needs to keep our hands off Venezuela and let the Venezuelan people determine their own future. And as president, I would continue that policy, both in countries like Venezuela and others, and end these destructive and wasteful regime change wars that have proven so costly on us, the American people, on our troops and service members and their families, and have proven to cause more problems, increase suffering, increase instability for the people in the countries where we wage these wars. In Latin America especially, we only have to look to history to see what happens when the United States comes in and tries to act as the world's police, toppling governments and leaders and dictators that they don't like. It is the people who always end up suffering the most, both in the short term as well as the long term.
Thank you.
Awesome question, fam. Awesome answer.
Her answer could not have been any better. I mean, she literally not only touched on Venezuela, she talked about Latin America and how we are the police of the world. And that's exactly what we need to do. We need to stop. And no other person that's gone besides Mike Ravel even has touched on that. Like the way she has touched. She is bold. She's unapologetic about regime change wars. And a lot of people, including a lot of my friends and Bernie supporters, and I'm one of them, but I pay attention to foreign politics. A lot of these people do not pay attention to foreign policy because we have been set up not to. We have been set up to be so busy and so downtrodden by this economy that we can't even look up to think about what's going on in another foreign country. But the problem with that is how that affects us here directly. As she has said, it hurts people here, it hurts the troops out there, and it causes more destabilization in other countries and more death, and we hurt other people abroad in addition. And then she goes on to say, we need to stop that, and as president, I'm going to stop that. And someone in the military who's a veteran who understands that everything she did for as a veteran was a lie is exactly who we need in some form or fashion in the White House, in the Pentagon. I don't care. She needs to be there in some form or fashion because she is unapologetic in this, and that's exactly what we need to actually resolve a lot of our domestic issues as well.
You get those moments, man. I just let you go and stuff like that. And she even said, all we need to do is look to history.
It's
history
it's a
for
fact.
Latin America. Has it ever fucking worked, ladies and gentlemen? Has regime change ever worked without increasing the poor people suffering and dying and getting killed? No, it hasn't. And if it has, please write to me and tell me because I must be misinformed. And if you only have to look to history, fam, there should be somebody else I'm thinking about in Congress who shouldn't be confused about this, fam.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about, fam?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell the people here? Daenerys fucking Targaryen over there.
Okay. Well, so Niko House, our fam, Niko, got a lot of flack because he criticized AOC in his video that he released this morning, which has over 6,000 views now. And he spoke about we need to hold her accountable for the fact that she said in regards to Venezuela, I will deflect to what you said, the leadership. Yeah. The party leadership.
I would defect to the caucus leadership.
Yeah. Which is like, first of all, there's no progressive in leadership. It would be
no shit.
It would be Nancy Pelosi. So you're gonna defect to Nancy Pelosi for that? Why? Why would you do that? And so we've been seeing kind of a trend with her, kind of watching what she says because she gets a lot of centrist appeal. And I get that. You want that. You want the Democratic Party to love you. You want to be reelected. You want these people to get support so we could pass progressive policies, right? But that's the thinking of the ends justify the means. And no, that's not the case. First of all, full disclosure, we love AOC. We freaking, like, he flew and met with her. We organized a special thing with AOC. We helped raise
when she
money
was still
for
bartending.
her. Yes.
You saw her when she was still bartending, for crying out loud.
As someone, like, as
Shut
a
up for a
bartender, like, as a Latina, like, I connect with her in every single way. And for me to even criticize her is really difficult, but I have to hold everybody accountable. No one is above criticism, and we constantly have to remember that, because I think in America, when we edify people to a point and put them on a pedestal, we can't even begin to criticize them without being trashed. And so Niko received a lot of flack because of him, talking about how she's been kind of pandering to the centrists, kind of a little bit. And we understand that her district is made up, as you said, of many people in Colombia who are definitely anti-socialist. But to stay silent on this says so much. Yeah. That is a stance that you're taking, and I don't necessarily expect her to say support Maduro. I do expect her to say something like, look, we need to, like, stay away from Venezuela, and if she doesn't know enough about the issue, that's all you can say. I'm okay with that. But you cannot say, I'm going to deflect to party leadership. You can also not change your answer depending on who you're talking to, because then that means you are pandering, and that's not what got you in power. What got you in power was you being savage, you being leftist, you being unapologetic, the things we love about Tulsi. And she rated Tulsi second to Elizabeth Warren, which pissed a lot of people off, because that's just not. Yeah. That's just
she
not.
She said, "Who's gonna vote for she Bernie or?"
And she was a Tulsi fan prior, and she's been a little bit of a pandering to the centrists, and I get it, but it's like, okay, come on, girl, we need you to step it up on foreign policy, because it's such a big issue.
It is,
and this is coming from
my
constructive criticism from me. I love you. I think, you're doing great and you're being savage there. But we also need to learn how to criticize the Democratic Party and not just focus on Donald Trump. Yeah. Because I know that gets a lot of love on Twitter, but really that's not where all the focus should be.
Well, so. How we feel on this station about being just an anti-Trump candidate, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not buying it, you know what I'm saying? I'm still holding the people accountable who let him get in there. But let me just say this much, and fam, we might disagree and stuff like that. We suspect that, with a big part of your voters in your district being Colombian, being old school anti-socialist, Maduro, that you might be pandering. We don't know that for sure, but it's on our minds and stuff. I've seen the same thing in South Florida, where a lot of politicians have pandered to the older Cuban generation.
Or the Jewish population, like in regards to Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Exactly. We see it all the time, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to say this right now, and I don't care going on. The Maduro government is legit. The Maduro government is legit.
Absolutely.
Okay, their elections have more integrity than us. Jimmy Carter said in 2012 that out of the 96 odd freaking elections that he monitored, Venezuela had the best. The best. There were many people who just said in this last election, this election is legit. The Maduro government is legit. Get it through your freaking heads. Because you can't, I'm sick and tired of this pandering in the middle, like, well, I don't want to support the government of Maduro, but I'm not going to support the government of Guaido. We should just stay out of it. No. The Maduro government is legit. And I'm not going to say it again because, it's just true.
I'm just saying, strategy-wise, I understand why she's saying, and Bernie too. I understand.
I'll say it.
But he has said he has been more vocal about anti-regime change in Venezuela, especially after he got criticized. He learns, he listens. I expect someone that looks up to Bernie to do the same, and and I will continuously support someone that shifts and learns from their mistakes. So
I got to correct this mistake. Where I'm putting the purple shirt in the drawer and it ain't coming out. The purple AOC. It's your friend Pasta. I love you, support you, but I don't like your stance on this. New York, okay? New York Jets, let's go. Don't say Jets suck. The purple shirt is staying in the drawer until you correct this. This is big. This is huge. And you're on the wrong side right now, okay? You got to clear this up. You got to clarify this stuff. Hands off Venezuela unequivocally. Bottom line. You don't have to support Maduro like I just did, but hands off unequivocally. You don't defer to the freaking caucus that has no progressives in it? What are you, crazy? On this? You need to stand. No. She needs to be with Tulsi on this one. This is huge.
Pasta's right. When Pasta gets angry like that, he's right.
Give me a bomb. Give me explode. All right, no more of that shit. No more. No more exploding.
We have a couple pics of the Tulsi rally.
We have the Tulsi time song, right, Johnny? Oh, it was so beautiful. We're gonna get Mike in the studio one day. We'll also cook him pasta if that's okay, fam. He said he'll come over and do the song.
You can cook everybody pasta. As long as you get me the vegetable, gluten-free pasta,
I do, and I make you arrabbiata. Fam likes it when I make arrabbiata. Arrabbiata is like a spicy marinara. Arrabbiata actually means she is crazy. It's the feminine form of crazy in Italian. It's not arrabbiato, it's arrabbiata. But all the pastas are usually named after women and stuff, so... A lot of them are. There's a couple sauces.
There's a reason for that.
There's a puttanesca sauce that's named after. Sorry. Did you find it?
No. Do you have any of the crowd pictures?
There he is.
There.
Tulsi time, right?
Yeah, we got those. I wanted to end the show with that. Hold on, I want to go over some comments in the MC.
Okay, yeah,
let's go. Let's get some comments. What do we got?
Let's see. Someone was wondering. You said to Zeus about the pasta. If you do anything about how's your lasagna?
Come on now. I can make any type of lasagna you want.
He's an Italian grandmother. Lasagna? Ron Placone can attest to this. Pastas are Italian grandmother. Did we get a
super chat? But let me say something about the lasagna. If you're the person who wants the lasagna, can make any type of lasagna you want. I even have this Texas-style lasagna where I use braised biscuit and a barbecue marinara, tomato-y barbecue sauce with pieces of applewood smoked bacon. And then I use ricotta with marinara and stuff like that. But then I sprinkle a little Colby Jack in there as well to get that Tex-Mex kind of flair. And I can make a veggie one too, a Florentine style. But we know last time...
We got to get him to make a vegan one.
Yeah, the carrots got to be sauteed. I messed up on the last one with the carrots and stuff. What do we got over there?
Super chat.
What's it say?
From Mr. Broken Ass, basically.
I love
broke
that
ass.
Bernie, Tulsi, and AOC need to put their bodies on the line and take them food and water. Thoughts and prayers mean nothing. Actions, not empty words.
Yeah. It would be awesome if any of them would actually go there, and even Tulsi. Like, I'm waiting for her to go there. I mean, she wasn't as aware of the situation as I feel like she could have been, and but she's been the most vocal about this whole thing, and I'm gonna give her a chance to do it. But yeah, honestly, it would be great, and I think a lot of that is fear. It's a lot of the political establishment has such a stronghold, and not only the political establishment, but the military-industrial complex. People genuinely are afraid of it, and we need to show them that the people are behind them when they support these causes.
Yeah, and in all fairness too, as well, when Fam asked the question, it'd been less than an hour that it happened. Literally, I mean, it was like Fam got it from Telesur English, and it was like, we were starting to share it, and then we started sharing it with people in the room. So she was out shaking hands in the line of people who couldn't get in there to say thank you to them for about a good 15 minutes. So she, I mean, I don't even know if somebody whispered in her ear and whatnot if she has that big of a team. And I'm glad to see Tulsi's got some good security. I like those security guys that were there last night. We thought they were Secret Service. They did a great job. Their eyes are on her and stuff. And I love it. Protection for Tulsi because she's great. Fam, we have anything to add? Or?
The other thing is this guy, there was a troll. I don't know if you want to...
talk about the troll. We love trolls.
Because they were going crazy. They were chatting, arguing with this guy. He says, people ask the wrong questions. Is not why USA and Venezuela is that China or Russia will take that oil. And he's saying that's what liberals want now, the USA to lose always.
No, liberals don't want that, actually. Liberals want us to continue succeeding. Leftists, on the other hand, are different. Yeah. Like, I separate myself from... I'm not a liberal. I'm a leftist progressive. And I have to specify even what that means, because a lot of people have adopted the term progressive when they're not even progressive anymore. So it's just one of these things. And the neoliberals and the neocons are in agreement when it comes to war and when it comes to attaining more power, and they don't care. They're the same. They're one and the same when it comes to that, which is what people need to realize, that it's not a liberal or Republican thing. It's literally whether you realize the bigger picture or not about our imperialism.
And liberals are now just neoliberals. That's what they are right now. The liberal term has been hijacked. And really, to tell you the truth, this gentleman, this troll, what kind of a mindset is that we can just go and take what we want? Oh, we need that oil for us. Let's give it, get the F out of here, bro. Man, come on. We just have this bully kind of mentality.
It's what this country was built on, though.
It's too much G.I. Joe.
It stems from the belief that
manifest destiny.
That there are enemies, I don't know, why can't we be peaceful together? We can't. There has to be enemies. Russia's gonna be an enemy.
Well, everyone has
their. It is the elites. It is the elites.
Yeah. And you're being a pawn of the elites by supporting that, because none of this benefits us. None of it.
No, they were just showing that too as well. And there's a new, and this is the thing to think about. When we take that oil, they say we take the oil. We shouldn't say we take the oil. The oligarchs are taking the oil. That's not going to the American
Saudi Arabian
people.
princess.
Oh my God!
All of them.
I mean, there was a yesterday in France that they refused to let a cargo ship leave with weapons to go to Saudi Arabia. You know what I'm saying? That's what the meaning of these protests really mean. It's like an anti-imperialist protest. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we have to stand by. This Monroe Doctrine, this manifest destiny that we could just go around and take shit left and right. It's disgusting. And why do we need enemies? They're not our enemies. We were watching the parade in Russia the other day for a little while. They're regular people out there, just like us. They want peace.
And we're trying to burn them down to the ground, Khaleesi style, with the dragons, and hurting innocent civilians.
We need a peace candidate, fam.
We do.
You know what we need? Tulsi time. Tulsi time.
They all heard a warning, a missile heading kind of way.
Ladies and gentlemen, go to our call.
And when they heard about it, there was no reason to doubt it. Those folks all thought it was their final day. Although the alert was fake, people are now wide awake. Regime change was certainly a crime, but I'm saying out to you, it's something we can do, because people in this Tulsi time. People in this Tulsi time. People in this Tulsi time. If you're tired of the horrors of regime change wars, people in this Tulsi time.
Jets suck. Nick suck.
God, fade us out, John. Or should we just talk? Listen, if you like us, go to our Convo Couch YouTube. Go to our Facebook. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Just subscribe and hit the bell, please, so you receive when we're going live, because that matters so much. And yeah, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter,
Instagram.
Please don't say that.
Right. Thursday we'll be on with Niko House. We'll have a show. We'll be joining up with him. We'll be talking some more. We got a lot of stuff coming on. We have the California DNC convention at the end of the month here too, fam. So we'll be going up there as well.
Everybody's going to be there.
A lot of stuff going on.
Yep.
We'll keep you posted over here.
Yep. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Again, like, subscribe, share. We love you. Thanks. Combo out.